Hello, I'm Speaker Man. Today I'd like to post a video. This is quite an exciting one, but you'll have to stay tuned for that one as I don't have it with me at the minute. So today I have borrowed a really old reel-to-reel. I think it's from the 70s, and it's one of those ones where you'll see in a video where you take the speakers off and it's got a beautiful little unit, weighs a ton. And you're probably wondering why I actually borrowed it. It's a very good reason if you're thinking that, yeah. So here it is. Ooh, my dad picked up a reel-to-reel tape about 5 years ago, and not just any tape. It says on the side of the tape U2. And we reckon that it's early recordings of U2, or potentially maybe I don't know, maybe it were used in like a radio station might have recorded U2, like, you know, and how they performed, or it could be, you know, it could be anything. It could even just be a little chat with U2, you know what I mean, just like a formal chat. But we're really excited because if it has got something to do with U2. And it is got their songs on it, it's probably worth a lot of money, because this would not be anywhere else. And I'm not sure that you can buy those EMI reel-to-reels. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, if it were legit, like a tape cassette, if it was legit, like, and they made tons and tons of copies that you could buy that was a finished product, that's EMI, then yes. But actually something that is just a reel, that I don't think you could buy those. I'm not too sure if EMI sold those, because it's obviously EMI is a recording studio, and it's like, I mean, that's the recorder there. That could be really exciting. So we borrowed it so that we can find out what's on it. So that'll be the next video. This video, however, it's funny this, because I actually recorded me doing this in the shed, and I'd got my bloody face off the shot. I didn't look how the camera was set. So anyways, so I'm going to be playing around with an old one, get my first hand on a reel-to-reel. I've never touched one before. It's the first time for me, so it was a bit of fun. The music on it is a little bit just weird. I don't know whether I'll get copyright for this, because I don't know if it's a legit piece. But anyways, hope you enjoy this. And I will post the next one, a follow-up to this, so we can see what's on that YouTube tape, if it is to do with them or not, or it could just be something else. Somebody could have just written U2 on it and said, there you go, I'll put, you know what I mean. But you know, it's got to have some legit pieces on it. So hopefully, anyways, hope you like this video, and let's get to it. Put it through here, then through to here, then it goes through the tape head, through here, and then it goes through into this bit here, goes all the way around, and then you've got to tuck it into here, like that, and that will stop. And then you just wind it a little bit on. Obviously you need to hold it a bit tight, give it a little twirl. Usually when you set it off, it goes off, and then you just push your play button. But that's what will happen if you don't do it, but that it'll automatically put itself on, erect itself. So yeah, I played the tape. It's actually quite spooky at the start. Something weird about it, something like really muddly. So I got a bit scared, because you know, it is a bit. So let's wind it on. Now you can put it on the record function, but it will not do anything till those two prongs are down. And it's really loud actually. Just got to put it on volume 1. It's a beautiful little system, but something that's really ancient and old. It's pretty damn good. I'm hoping when I put it on the record mode, I'll be able to talk through the mic, see if it'll come through. Let's see if it'll play anything now. There you go. Oh, that's alright. This one's called Martha. That's like volume 1, so it's insane. Beautiful little thing. And on here there's like a trap door, which I'll show you in a bit, and it pulls out and there's microphones inside. There's 2 of them. They're beautiful little mics. I mean, check these out. But if you wanted something like this now, you're probably paying about I would say about maybe maximum maybe 200-300 quid maybe, I don't know. It sounds like something from like a really old Bond film or something. You know, like an 80s Bond film. You know, like a credits, like an end credits for something that's finishing. You know, like the credits things. Interesting to listen to. So I'll put it on here. It won't record until the pings are down, but I'm going to plug a mic in and see whether we can get a good sound. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, unfortunately, they won't come through unless it's sort of the prongs are down to record on left or right. But I don't want to tamper with the tape because it's not mine. I'd have to have my own tape to show you that. But there will be a follow-up to this, and it will be a good follow-up. I'll show you the 2 mics with it. Check that out, man. That's awesome. I'd love to take something like this to a festival and record. It would be so, like, you get looks, but it would be awesome. And then you got this nice trap door. It's amazing how these things work these days. Like it's just like, you know, a kid wouldn't know how to do this now. They'll think, what on earth's this? Now, this comes with it as well, like a little dust cap. Now you can't. I don't think. Oh, you probably can actually. You can actually do it, but I'll be careful. You can actually put the lid on. It is a possibility. So yeah, you can put the lid on. That's just to stop the dust from getting to it. So first, goes on record. Have the dust cap on, which is quite cool. But I know Mark didn't tell me this. Mark is the one who's lent it me to use for the U2 tape. We don't know if it's going to fit. We don't think it is going to fit. Even when I looked at the reel, I thought, I'm sure it's bigger than this. This isn't going to work, is it? So I'm not very confident. But we'll figure a way to do it, because it's obviously this bit that's this one. I think it's this one. I know one of them spins around, and it's definitely not this one. This one's quite free. This one's a little bit more motor driven. So to wind it back, just goes like that. Now it doesn't matter if it gets to the end, it's not going to go flying away. You'll see when it gets to the end. There's a volume left and right. There's an SOS, which I don't know anything about. Left and right. There's an on and off, and there's a black one, and there's a so that one. And then you've got a tone, and then you've got a speaker, which is 1 and 2, and it's off. And you've got 2 record prongs. You've got your mic left and right, and you've also got phones. But also at the back, you've got loads to look at. It's actually quite cool, that. So yeah, when you do wind back, they don't actually wind back unless it's on. Yeah. So if there's nothing on it, it won't go anywhere. But when you want to take these off, you can remove them. But I'm pretty sure that one's got the motor head on it. Because we're thinking that we could probably put one on. But yeah, there is different sizes as well, because when you take this reel off, I think they both spin round. Aye, they do. When you take the reel off, you've got different. I'll show you. You've got different sizes, so you can flick it over to that size, and that will determine the speed of it. But you can't actually put them on. So there must have been smaller reels, but we reckon it's bigger than that. It's so yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue. With it, it's going to have a slightly bigger reel on it, which is a bummer. So these just go on there, it just stops the sort of flying off. Yeah, well it wouldn't, but it's just in case. Yeah, so that's how that works. Obviously, volume turn off buttons there. And then when you lift this up, it is quite a beast actually, it is quite heavy. Make sure you put the dust cap back on, very important. Because if this does get dusty, it will ruin the tape head. This can also stand upwards as well, so if you wanted to have it just upwards, it can do that as well. No, absolutely no worries. Bloody hell, it is quite heavy, bloody hell. I didn't pick it up earlier, so I didn't know. Bloody hell. So, let me walk you through the top bit. So it can sit like that, that's why you've got these on. So it's allowed to, well, it's really dusty on the back. So you've got speaker, you've got line out. Let's get it off the tripod. So that's how it looks. So on the back here, you've got a rux, you've got line out, and you've got speaker. That one is like a voltage thing, and that one is a record, sort of PB, which I don't know what that is. But I've got a radio, and that has that connector, so you can probably plug that into a radio and plug it into this and record. But it can actually play like that. It's a beautiful little thing. And this is the trap door I was on about. This is awesome. You can just like clip those down. That opens up, and you've got a nice little trap door, so you can store your little microphones in, which is awesome. And you've got these clips here, so the speakers can actually, they clip on the front. I'll show you how the speakers get on. So it's a nice little unit. I like it. It's a bit heavy like, but that's what you got back in the day. These speaker connectors are great. It's like, I think this is 70s, but I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't actually know. But what makes me say that is if you look at the catalogues from Argos in the 70s, they had like sound systems like this, where you could pull the speakers off the front. Now the speakers will nicely tuck away in that little box in this bit here, which is great. I actually love it. I think it's great. It's a great little thing. Mark actually got to give them to him for nothing. I was like, wow, that's quite nice. But it was sitting in his loft, so he thought, oh, I'll give it to Mark, he'll have some use. And actually they've used it to for people to get the stuff off. My dad used to have a Grundy reel-to-reel back in the 50s, or 40s or whatever. him and his brother. And they were great. He said it was great. Recorded all the Elvis stuff, all stuff that were in charts back in them days, and all on tape, and now he hasn't got them anymore. It's sad, because it would have been great to listen to, you know. Even the old cine films he did with Pink Floyd and Argent and all them back in the 70s in festivals. Oh, he's lost all them tapes as well. It's ridiculous. It really annoys me when, you know, I was thinking, oh man. But he's moved around so much, he's lost a lot of stuff. Which is quite sad. In a way, you know, it's very sad. I was quite sad when he told us. I was thinking, oh man, that would have been a great little project. You know what I mean? If you could find them now, would just be an absolute, well, it would be a godsend, wouldn't it? It'd be like a wow, thanks. But nah, they'll never turn up. Them tapes, they're gone now. I don't know, unless somebody else has found them and thought, oh, what's on them, and took them in and thought, bloody hell, you know, or you know, oh, something like that. That's neatly tucked away in that box. I always look after my gear, or other people's gear. And for things, I always make sure that I put them back right. So yeah, we'll figure a way to get the tape on. I mean, we can just put it through a piece of, we can just use something anyways. I'm sure if one spins round it'll pull the other one round, but I'm not entirely sure. Because if that one was spinning round, that wasn't, I'm sure it would have enough power to spin it round. If not, then we're kind of screwed. I feel like telling Mark it won't fit, but we'll figure a way, I'm sure. So these clip on. So there's like little hooks on here. Whoa, hey, hey. So they just hook on like that, and they go over. I don't know how that clicks on though. That's probably the wrong side, so it'll be this side. So there's like a little hook on there, hooks on, goes over like that, clips on like that. It's beautiful actually, it's nice. Then there's like a little clasp on that, little clasp on. If not, what me and Dad might do is put the tape onto that reel. So we'll reel it onto one of those, and might have to do that instead. But then again, there will be some missing. It's bloody great seeing something like this nowadays. Nowadays, you just wouldn't know what it is. Whoa! Right. So when that's on, make sure that the clasp is on. That's weird. They don't seem to be on. Doesn't seem to work this. You've got to make sure that the clasp is on. Maybe the clasp should have gone on first. Not entirely sure. Or I'm assuming so, that it'd be either one or the other, but the other one, it could be the clasp first. Let's try that first. It's just when you're not used to equipment. Yeah, it could be the clasp on first actually, because that seems to, but then that goes underneath. Hold on. It's amazing. No, I don't think that does go first. I think it is the clasp. That's weird. I'm not sure how this goes on. Yeah. Ah, right. So you lift this bit up here, and then you lift that down, and that'll force it in. Yes, of course. Oh man, we're getting there. We're getting there. So there you can.